Last week, me and my landscaping crew did 8.1K revenue in 4 days. Now, before we get into all the details on everything, I do want to say I apologize to all you guys who have been looking out for videos lately because I've been so busy lately, I just have not gotten the chance to post anything. But with that said, let's just get straight into it. So I have a landscaping crew of 4 guys, me and my girlfriend, so it's 6 of us total. And last week alone, in 4 days, we were able to push out 8.1K revenue. And I kind of want to talk about some of these jobs, and while I'm talking about them, I will put some overview of just the before and afters of these jobs. But to start off the first job, I will say it was underbid completely. It was a $1,500 job. We negotiated, at first I quoted the job for $1,790. The job easily should have been like $2,500. It was a literal full remodel of this guy's house in like a $1.5 million house. So, you know, as college kids, and for me, I totally just ate this one. I was kind of just really excited when I was selling earlier this spring. I was like, oh my gosh, my first big $1,500 job. This is awesome. I'll take it. Whatever. I didn't even negotiate. Big mistake. It ended up raining that day. Took us all day, 8 hours with, it was 5 of us, and it was awful. I mean, it was raining, and then the worst thing that happened was afterwards, you kind of see how this is wet right here. It looked like that, but like yellow, orange, rusty, because the stain from the mulch was all over the driveway. So then he refused to pay the other half, so I had to obviously go back out and power wash his driveway for another hour and 50 minutes, as well as the sidewalk, because all of our footprints were everywhere. So that job was a catastrophe, but we ended up getting paid fully for it, so we got all of that. After labor and expenses, the profit margins were not that high on that one, but still made, you know, whatever, decent money on it, whatever. Going into our second job on Wednesday, because we started our big jobs on Tuesday, and then it went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Why did we start it later? Just because of the way everything worked out with the crew. It's just what we decided to do. So with our second job on Wednesday, we had a 20-yard mulch job, a full spring cleanup in all the beds, full weeding, everything. This job took, oh my gosh, this job was literally like a 12-hour shift. I was busting my ass. My girlfriend was busting her ass. All of our workers were just, they were all just slaving away. Like, we were just going crazy. 20 yards of mulch. And keep in mind, we had 1 barrel. We had this wheelbarrow right here. That's all we had. Just 1 2-wheeled wheelbarrow and a pitchfork and a shovel. Like, it was totally, I learned I need to get another wheelbarrow. Always have 2 wheelbarrows, even 3 if you can, when it comes to these really big mulch jobs, because it doesn't make any sense to have 6 workers and 2 of them are weeding, 2 of them are spreading, and 2 of them are filling up. Like, the majority of the time should be fill up, dump, and just get as many dumps as you can possible. And that's what I've learned. And I mean, if any of you guys have some crazy advice for, you know, a young landscaper like me, let me know. And keep in mind, guys, I wanted to make on a side note that I am currently studying finance at Michigan State University. I'm not planning on being a full-time landscaper or contractor, but I do plan on doing this as a side gig most of my life, maybe even making it into a bigger thing when I'm older. We did just become an official LLC last week, so like, I'm definitely taking this seriously, and I definitely want to hit 100K revenue this summer. That was my goal. That's what I said in my earlier videos. But for those of you that are new, just know that I am not like a professional landscaper by any means. We do really good work. Our work has gotten exponentially so much better. We're now on like our 85 to 90th client, you know, somewhere up there. So we've done a lot of jobs, a lot of big ones, and we've learned a lot already. This week we're aiming for 5.3K in revenue, but let me not get too ahead of myself and distracted. So last week on that 20-yard mulch job, we quoted it for, I believe it was $2,865, which was a good bid. The mulch expense was like $800 in itself, labor, etc. We ended up profiting pretty good on that job. That was a really good profit job. Then the next day, Thursday, I had a smaller but big mulch job as well. You know, 8 yards, really good profit margins on that one. I only had a 3-man crew, including myself, so 4 guys. And we tacked it. We finished it by 2 or 3 p.m. that day. It was really nice to finally not work a 12-hour shift back to back and be exhausted and beat and your back's hurting and you're popping ibuprofen pills, Tylenol, so your back stops hurting. Like, it felt really good to just finally like be done with the job. And then she let us jump off her dock afterwards, which was pretty fun and refreshing. And then stemming off of that, Friday's job, last Friday, we did like basically another one of those full yard remodels, but her house was a little smaller. But we still did a lot more. We even installed some pavers, we installed some trees, some boxwoods, or not boxwoods, but dogwood bushes. And then we also did a bunch of mulch, some flowers, and all that good stuff. And that job we quoted for $2,000. Well, we quoted it initially for like $1,600, and then we ended up having to go to these dumps, and the dumps was super expensive. It was like $800, or not 800, $85 just for one dump, and it was a lot. It was really heavy, and I mean, this utility trailer can only hold like 1,500 pounds. I know I need to upgrade, trust me, I do want to soon, but this one, in the meantime, can only hold 1,500 pounds. So we were like maxing this thing out, and we spent 85 and then 115 for the dumps. And I was just honest with her. I'm like, hey, I totally underbid this. Like, I didn't know that these dumps were so expensive. Can I add that in the quote? She was super friendly, so we bumped the quote to 1,800, and then she ended up tipping and just rounding it to 2,000. So it was super friendly of her. A lot of fun. And for the Thursday job, I believe we quoted that one for like 1,100, and then she tipped us to like 1,300. So in total, with that and then a little small side job that I did, it added up to 8.1K after all the tips and just everyone's payments. So yeah, I mean, it was a really solid week. I will say though, I probably put in like 60 hours of labor in like 4.5 days. On top of that, all of the computer work at night, all of the content making at night, just so much more that goes into landscaping and running a landscaping business than a lot of people think. It's not just showing up and throwing down mulch. It's a lot more behind the scenes, especially when you're running it. You know, if you're the worker, you show up, you do what you're told, and you leave. But if you're running it, there's a lot more to do. So overall though, I'm super grateful, super blessed. I told y'all earlier, a couple of months ago when I first started this channel, I was gonna do 100K summer, and we're on track to do 28K in revenue this summer, or not 28K this summer, 28K this month. And going forward, I think it's gonna get slower, believe me. I'm not like gonna say, oh yeah, I'm gonna multiply that by 4 already and do 28K every month. I don't think it's gonna be that crazy, but at the same time, I think if we use the right marketing strategy going forward, starting next week, and I'm also gonna start doing a commission sort of sales thing with some of my employees, I think we could still push similar numbers. You know, 20K months is ideally what I'm looking for. 30K months are like my in the end objective every single month this summer. But so far I've learned so much in just a week and a half already running production. And I mean, going forward, I just think it's just gonna get better and better every time. I'm gonna learn so much this summer, just learn how to task manage and run the crew. And I've learned a lot of just like inner relational things as well with like employees, how to be respectful at times when things aren't going well, or if an employee doesn't show up, how do you kind of handle that behind the scenes? How do you talk to them and it's not awkward? Especially since a lot of these guys are my friends, so you know what I mean? But I've been learning a lot, and there's one thing I can say to take away from this video, moral of the story, is that if you are running a service-based business or a product, e-commerce, whatever you're doing, you're running some sort of business, I'm sure you guys can relate, but for me, the moral of last week is that I'm always learning something new. Like, there's always something to learn. There's always something to be better at. And this isn't something that you can be perfect at by any means. Some days are a lot smoother than others, and those are the really amazing days. But when the days of 12 hours and you're working in the rain because your schedule can't get pushed back, and then you have a worker not show up at the same time, that sucks. But with that said, we pushed through it. We did it. And in total, I would say, including the weekend of all the computer work, I probably put in like 80 hours last week, which is insane. That is like some investment banking type shit, but I'm very grateful, and the money is definitely paying out as a side factor. The money wasn't the objective last week, I'll tell you that. Getting the jobs done was the objective, but overall, I'm very grateful, and I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going on 10 minutes here, so I'm about to head out to this job site too today. Probably make a video later this weekend explaining how this week went with our 5.3K revenue week. But in total, or overall, I want to say, if you are watching this, thank you. Drop a comment below if there's anything that you think I should do or work on based off anything that I mentioned, any of the background videos you saw, any of the jobs. If there's anything you think I should change, do, how to run production better, please give me advice. I'm open to anything because, like I said, I'm learning everything. I'm learning something new every day, and I just want to be better every single day I show up, as well for my workers. I want to be a better, boss essentially for them as well. And I also want to just have a smoother summer. So let me know, guys. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the next video, and I hope y'all have a great week in the meantime. Deuces.